Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are St. Louis.
It's a rivalry that brought us Brock versus Brolio, Sandberg versus Suter, Mark versus Sammy, Tony versus Dusty. It's a rivalry that has remained strong for 123 regular seasons and now one postseason. This year, the stakes are raised. The Cubs say it's their year. The Cardinals don't have to say a thing. They just turn to the flags atop Busch Stadium and point. Cubs, Cardinals, all year long. Only on Fox Sports Midwest.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, one of the great rivalries renewed for 2016. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. Some of the youngsters getting their first taste of this great rivalry, and some of the youngsters getting set for another chapter. Colton Wong, Aledmus Diaz, and Jeremy Hazelbaker. And tonight also marks the return of right fielder Jason Heyward to St. Louis. Many have said, meet me at the Stan the Man statue just outside Busch Stadium. It was dedicated August 4th of 1968. That's where we're at. We're just moments away from our first pitch. Big crowd expected here tonight. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. As I mentioned, it's another chapter of this great rivalry, the Cubs and the Cardinals, and it's got a little added spice this year with tonight's starter going for the Cubs, the former Cardinal John Lackey, and the return of right fielder Jason Heyward.
It really does. You know, this rivalry has been going on for 125 years, but like you said, now we have two teams, the Cubs and the Cardinals, two of the best teams in all of baseball. They'll match up here. Lackey last year was probably the Cardinals' best starter, and he pitched extremely well here at home, his old home, Busch Stadium, but we'll see what happens tonight, and I think the fans might want to see Heyward for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that first at-bat coming up. He'll be in that lineup for Joe Maddon's club, batting second. Cubs and Cardinals comes your way next. The Chicago Cubs are in St. Louis. It's the first of 19 matchups. The Cubs and Cardinals, a date we've all been waiting for. Let's get it on. Baseball comes your way next. For baseball here in the Gateway City, the first of 19 meetings between the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. Dexter Fowler, signed late in spring, leads it off for the Cubs, followed by Hayward, Zobrist, Rizzo, Bryant, Montero, Soler, Russell, and the former Cardinal John Lackey. Against the Chicago Cubs, Mike Leake has had great success while with Cincinnati. 9-2 against the Cubbies, most wins against any opponent in his career.
Yeah, his 20th start in his career against the Cubs. Last season 1-0. He walked just 2 batters, struck out 20.
And the first pitch to Fowler is taken for a ball. The switch hitter off to a great start. He's batting .375, which is 4th best currently in the National League.
Dan, he got base hits in the first 4 games and became only the 4th player since 1913 for the Cubs to have hits in the first 4 games. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
That's driven into left center field. Well hit. That ball will get down. One hops off the wall. Dexter Fowler, red hot. Reached base in over half his plate appearances to start this year. And here's Hayward. So the first time we've seen Hayward since he signed as a free agent with the Chicago Cubs and did the unthinkable here in St. Louis. Turned down what many considered a better deal from the Cardinals, and not only turned it down, but then goes to the Chicago Cubs. I would assume, in watching Hayward 500+ at bats up close last year, the Cardinals will bust him in time and again.
Well, I would hope so, but I hope Mike Leake can start getting his ground balls. Missing down, but we saw a Fowler's base hit is a ball that goes all the way to the wall. His problem, he has a tremendous sinking fastball, but he has become a fly ball pitcher in his early starts. He will get it on top of it, but right now it's a struggle.
Here's a 2-0 pitch to Hayward with the shift on for the former Cardinal. Last year with the Cardinals, career highs in average, hit .293. Career highs in doubles with 33. Stolen bases and won his 3rd Gold Glove.
Yeah, and you say the offer he turned down from the Cardinals. In my way of thinking, the Cubs was a better offer.
The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball pulled foul.
And I also will say this, that Jason Hayward is a very, very good ball player. Won his 3rd Gold Glove last year. Had his career high in, in batting average, but he hit 13 home runs, 61 RBIs, and I think that if the Cardinals would have signed him to that contract, they would have regretted it.
He is a perfect fit for the Chicago Cubs in this lineup. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Hayward. And that is a called 3rd strike.
Well, you can watch this, trying to backdoor it. Right there on down and away. A left-handed hitter is going to give up on that pitch. Then it breaks to the bottom of the plate, right on the black. Just a perfect pitch. And maybe now Leake can see his way of how to get out of this inning without them scoring.
Hayward, along with this man, Ben Zobrist, off to slow starts here in Chicago. Let's tap foul. Zobrist, a switch hitter, 0 for his last 21. Very versatile player that can play left, he can play right, all over the infield. And for Joe Madden, he wanted that versatility and saw him up close while with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, no doubt, he's a tremendous ball player. This is his 11th major league season. He's a contact hitter, something that they have very few of in their lineup.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Zobrist. He's now 0 for his last 22. Runner advances from 2nd to 3rd. That's Fowler.
That's good to see, because Zobrist was 2 for 3 with a couple doubles off the Leake. So now with 2 outs, all of a sudden Rizzo comes up. Rizzo's hit .333 against Leake. But let's see if he can't get out of this first inning and be a moral victory.
Cardinals defense presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Holiday, Hazelbaker, Piscotti, Carpenter, Diaz, Wong, Moss on the infield, Yachty behind the plate. Anthony Rizzo, 2-time All-Star, 31 home runs a year ago. There's strike 1. Calling the balls and strikes tonight, Carlos Torres. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, is at first. Sam Holbrook at second. Rob Drake is down at third.
One thing that we've seen that the Cubs is not something that I think you totally expect from them, but they've been very patient. They lead the major leagues in walks this year.
Here's a 1-1. As you mentioned, Al, this is a free swinging bunch. Historically, recent history, last 2 years, they led the league in strikeouts, close to 1,500 a year ago.
No, it was led the league in strikeouts, like you said. They did a lot of damage.
Here's a 1-2. And Rizzo is hit by the pitch. That's something that Anthony Rizzo will do time and again, too. He's among the league leaders in hit by pitch. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Mike Leake.
Well, you really just think about the sinker, And then you kind of mix in the off-speed stuff. But it's the sinker. When he has it working, it's a ground ball machine. Something we haven't seen yet. But it's one of the reasons why the Cardinals gave him $80 million in a 5-year contract. Largest contract from a free agent pitcher. And I think we'll be happy with it when it's all said and done.
Here's Chris Bryant. Runners at first and third. Outfield is deep and straight away. Bryant went 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position against the Cardinals last year with 9 strikeouts.
It was a 1-year anniversary yesterday from when he joined the big leagues. Remember, he missed like the first 8 games so they could put another year on his calendar, avoid free agency.
And a high fly ball lifted out to right field. Piscotty under it, Leak out of the jam. John Lackey to the mound when we come back. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise one, two right now. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Beautiful night. Glad you're with us. The Cubs and Cardinals. First meeting of this 2016 campaign.
John Lackey already 2-0. He's really struggled, particularly the first game, but you know what a bulldog he is on the mound. He just stayed out there, got roughed up, gave up 6 runs in the first 3 innings, and then through 3 shutout innings, his team came from behind and he got a victory. Last time out was much better, and he loves this mound here in St. Louis.
They have given him 18 runs of support in those 2 games, so the 2-0 record a bit misleading. What's not misleading, though, as Al said, loving this mound at Busch Stadium. Last year, 17 starts. He was 9-4 with a 1.93 ERA here at home. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes.
And we know how hitters go up there looking for that first pitch strike. He was second in Major League Baseball to throwing first pitch strikes. Only Scherzer threw more.
Carpenter pops it up down the left field line, giving chase. Russell, and a sliding attempt. Outstanding effort from the 22-year-old, but comes up empty. Addison Russell is the 3rd youngest player right now in the National League.
Yeah, he had a tremendous year. You see, he calls off Brian, his 3rd baseman, and then when he kind of lost his balance, Lucky that one didn't hit him in the face. Goes off the glove. New life for Carpenter. No error charged. As you said, a good effort and a difficult play.
How many times, though, do you see it? That play not made, and again, very difficult, but then you get the base hit with a new life, especially a guy like Carpenter. Let's see if that holds true. As Montero called time.
So many of the Cardinal hitters, this is going to be their first plate appearance against Lackey. And Dan, this is his first start against the Cardinals in regulation. He pitched against them 2 games with Boston in 13, 1 in relief, 2 starts, and closed out and beat the Cardinals for them to be the world champions in 13.
Carpenter leads the club in walks with 9. Also in RBIs with 11, and doing that for the top spot in this lineup. Three-two pitch. Inside. Lackey, no surprise, glaring back into the home plate umpire. We saw that a time or two, didn't we?
Sure did.
Carpenter, Hazelbaker, Holiday, then Moss, Piscotty, Molina, Wong, Diaz, and Lee. You know, the other aspect of John Lackey, where he was so good last year, he was able to get out of trouble because of double plays. Behind him, the Cardinals turned 29, which was tied for the most in all of baseball.
Yeah, his career high, and he's very good. You know, he'll throw a ton of fastballs.
There's your ground ball. Hazelbaker gets down the line so well, that's all they'll get. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense. It's Soler in left, Fowler in center, Jason Hayward in right. Bryant, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo on the infield. Miguel Montero is behind the plate. Here's Holiday. Part of the aging core, which was said by Jason Hayward during the offseason.
Now, you know, it got a lot of attention, but it's hard to argue and say that that's not true. It is an aging core when you think about Wainwright and Holiday and Molina. It doesn't mean they can't play well, and it doesn't mean the Cardinals got a group of young players coming up, the next man up scenario.
See if the Cardinals want to do some running with Hazelbaker. Hazelbaker with a couple of steals. As you get a look at Russell staying on the bag, they wanted to take a little longer look at that.
I think that was it. Check and see if he was off the bag when he received the throw.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Holiday. Hazelbaker is leaning. There have been 6 stolen base attempts against Montero. All 6 have picked up steals. Lackey, we saw that a year ago too, at times pick up the pace. Sometimes he'll hold it for a long time with a runner at first base. Then time is called. The next pitch, it's almost in a rush.
Yeah, I don't remember him having an exceptional move, but what helps out a catcher is the fact that he will vary his looks, his moves, speed up, look over there. Doesn't get into a pattern where a base stealer can feel safe getting that lead and taking off.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Holiday. Drops down. Little flare. Right center. Hayward coming on. And a sliding catch. Jason Hayward, the Gold Glover, 3 times. He's taken that home. Makes the play.
Well, we found last year that Jason Hayward is very, very good at coming in on the ball, making those sliding catches or diving catches. He's already saved a couple runs this year. But, you know, if you looked at right fielders with defensive runs saved, Piscotty's saved more already in the early goings than Hayward has.
Here's Brandon Moss. Looks at a strike. Hyundai pitch arsenal for right-hander John Lackey.
You know, it's tough enough to be a fastball pitcher in relief, but to do it in a rotation, extremely difficult. But you can see almost all fastballs, but he can make them all look a little different.
Hazel Baker back in safely. Another look at Jason Hayward is with sabermetrics, and in terms of WAR, he is in the top 5 among current players the last couple of years, and in particular outfielders, because of that defense. As you mentioned, Al, very good coming in, and also, as we saw, very strong arm.
Oh, yes. Going back on the ball and around the wall, you know, I wouldn't put him in the, you know, there at the best, but you said throwing and coming in on the ball, very good.
Here's a 1-1 pitch.
184 million worth? I don't know.
It does show you, though, the premium that is put on defense now because of all the stats that are available to those in front offices, and how important Hayward is defensively for a club.
Yeah, and I think you also got to do it, you know, think about it with this ball club, because, you know, they aren't, you know, if you had Schwarber out there or Soler, who's out left now in place of the Bopper, you know, they're not very good defensively.
Runner goes, and it's hit out of play. And I said that, to me, Hayward is perfect for this lineup because of the great power of the young sluggers. He can just fit right in. He was an on-base machine last couple of years, so he's not the signature player in the lineup and fits in very, very well.
I totally agree with you, and I think he's very comfortable letting it be Rizzo and Bryant and the others, Schwarbers. Let it be their ball club, and I'm just going to fill in and take my paycheck.
And Moss strikes out. We saw this time and again a year ago, wearing that Cardinal uniform. Now he turns the trick against St. Louis. Jason Hayward with a sliding grab in right. Jason Hayward about the aging core of the Cardinals. So we compare Chicago and St. Louis. He felt that it was taken a little bit out of context. As he said, you have young players like Addison Russell and Rizzo and Bryant. Cardinals, though, young core coming up too. Piscotty, you know, you look at Randall Grichuk, Colton Wong. So
oh, sure,
young players coming up for St. Louis as well.
And what throws their number up there is their pitching staff is the oldest in the National League. Scotty now gets to replace Jason Hayward, just like so many others have done.
3-0 on Miguel Montero. Hit just .225 on the road a year ago. Second year with the Chicago Cubs. Leadoff walk. Follow Cardinals baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day Live. #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. MLB at-bat. Jorge Soler. Kyle Schwarber is out for the year, suffered a knee injury. He was playing left field. That was in Arizona. He'll have surgery this week. So their young slugger is out. Into center. Right at Hazelbaker for the out. Al Raboski's Toyota key to the game.
Well, Mike Leake really hasn't been himself. And what I mean by that is he's not getting the ground balls. You know, he's giving up doubles. He's giving up the fly balls. When he is on, he's a ground ball machine. And that's a good way for all the Cardinal pitchers to pitch. Do not walk people. Keep the ball in the ballpark. Good formula for winning in this park or any park.
Addison Russell hitting .237. Home run, a double. He's driven in 7. Short lead at first by Montero.
Pretty good rookie season for Russell last year, and think about it, for most of the season he was playing out of position at second base, and they traded Castro, and then he turned to his shortstop, his normal position. He's going to be a good one.
Came over from Oakland. Ground ball, could be 2. Out at second. Double play. Lake, Wong, Moss, double play. In the area that are torn between the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. So we've talked about Jason Hayward, first time back in St. Louis. With more on that, let's turn to Jimmy Hayes. Jim.
Dan, it doesn't seem like Cardinal fans are ready to forgive Jason Hayward, but Hayward told me he loved playing in St. Louis, and the decision to sign with the Cubs was a difficult one. He called it a life decision. He told me he's still close with many of his old Cardinal teammates, and he couldn't wait to play against them. He said it would be like playing professional baseball against his brother, who's 20, by the way. He said he didn't care if he got booed tonight. It would just show him that Cards fans liked him and wanted him to stay in St. Louis. And as for his infamous aging core comment, Hayward said it was 100% blown out of proportion. He explained he wasn't calling the Cards old, but rather based on age and contracts. There was no guarantee how long he would get to play with some of the guys he really got close to if he signed a long-term deal with the Cardinals. Dan, my guess is some Cardinal fans aren't ready to buy any of that.
I would agree. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's Steven Piscotty. Ground ball hit to the left side, taken there by Chris Bryant. 1 away.
You know, Dan, maybe the Cardinal fans aren't ready to buy it, but I think it's the honest truth.
Well, I think what stings for fans is not only did he not take the offer from the Cardinals, and I can't remember a time when the Cardinals brought in a player on a 1-year deal, showed him this environment, and it doesn't make it right or wrong, it's his decision,
right? But
turned the Cardinals down. And not only did he turn him down, but he goes to the Cubs.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because you think of, guys like McGuire, Holiday, these guys that came in here and then all of a sudden liked the environment and signed long term. There's a little move that Lackey will do to a right-handed batter where he drops down and throws a little sidearm.
Do you find that anybody in this kind of matchup, Al, had an advantage? A former catcher, that a guy that caught you that all of a sudden you had to face?
I would think the advantage would probably be with the catcher. That he knows your tendencies a little more, even if you think you're not having a pattern. But Lackey's just such an old pro that. And Yachty, the way he's swinging the bat right now, you feel he's comfortable and confident against anybody.
Leads the club in hits with 14, and he swings and misses. Second strikeout for John Lackey.
Lackey's putting up pretty good numbers, and Lackey doesn't get any heat because the Cardinals never offered him a contract. He was their best pitcher last year, just off the plate, and a wild swing right there. But I wondered, and he signed what, 2-year, $32 million contract for the Cubs. I kind of wonder if they would have gone to him in September and said, hey, about 20, about 24 million or something like that for 2 years. I think maybe the Cardinals, because expecting Wainwright back, thinking Reyes, and you got Cooney and you got Gonzalez, all these different kids, I think they just maybe thought he's a bulldog, he's a great competitor, but maybe 2 years was going to be too much.
At the time, too, you had a healthy Lance Lynn. You thought.
Yes.
That was really the.
Yeah. So where are we going to put him?
Right. Here's a 2-0. Adam Wainwright, of course, is recovered from Tommy John surgery, and now Lynn will miss all of this season, but he'll be back next year. Here's a 3-0 pitch.
And he'll be a free agent after next year.
Cardinals giving Wong a couple of days off, similar to what they did with Randall Grichuk, just kind of the mental break. 3-2 with 2 outs and nobody on.
I gave a little pep talk to him today, and he really doesn't need anything. I said, you got a great support system now. You're married. You got a wife that you go home and keep you positive. Just don't be so hard on yourself.
3-2.
I mean, using a different bat now, and it's a little thinner handle. And, he kind of had a real thick handle, and he wants to use a little thinner one. Not really choking up, but a little thinner handle that he thinks he can get through the ball a little better.
They set up inside. The 3-2 pitch on the inside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lackey. 3 in the game. We head to the third. Cubs and Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And get Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. Here's John Lackey. First pitch is a strike.
One of the things that has really gotten the Cubs off to a good start is their starting pitching have gone at least 6 innings in every game. So that consequently the bullpen has thrown the fewest innings in the National League, and they've been pretty good so far.
0-2 pitch and a strikeout of Lackey. Strikeout number 2 for Mike Leake. The Cardinals will not face Jake Arrieta in this series. He has a streak of 48 consecutive scoreless innings at Wrigley Field. Lackey tonight, Jason Hamill and Jaime Garcia tomorrow. Kyle Hendricks, Carlos Martinez day game on Wednesday.
How about Arrieta last year had a 0.75 ERA after the All-Star break. Major League record.
I can't see or imagine any way he could match that. It's one of the great second halves, if not the best ever by a pitcher.
Well, think about it. We always, we marvel at Bob Gibson's 1.12 for a season. And he's less than half of that, for half a season.
0-2 the count on Dexter Fowler. Doubled into left center, then left stranded. Call, third strike. Leake has struck out 2 in a row. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. Let's take a look.
See the sinking action. You see where Yachty started out outside, comes over the middle, but it's down at the bottom of the zone.
Hayward was called out on strikes his first time up. Batting an even 200. There's strike 1. So he signs an 8-year deal with the Chicago Cubs. He did not play in their game on Saturday. And then a 9th inning double yesterday snapped an 0 for 11. 8 pitches, all have been strikes this half inning. Leake trying to strike out the side. The 0-2. Ground ball. A 1-2-3 for Mike Leake. hosts the 12th annual Purina Pooch is in the ballpark day. Come downtown, enjoy a ball game with man's best friend beside you. Limited number of tickets go on sale beginning at 10 a.m. April 22nd. Cardinals.com/promotions. Always a very popular day here at Busch Stadium. Have you noticed not only the base hits, Al, that Diaz is picking up, but how hard he is hitting the ball?
Yes, I noticed the other day that line drive to third was what, 110?
110, and then he had a double, and that was measured at 109.
We had no idea that he'd have that type of bat speed and generate that velocity, or that he had the running speed that we've seen too.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Cardinals, if you missed the pregame show, did activate Ruben Tejada, so he is available to pinch hit tonight or could be a defensive replacement. And Greg Garcia, no fault of his own, sent down to the minor leagues.
Hitting 600. But, you know, I mean, Tejada there, you see him right there, is now he will be the guy that will play multiple positions, particularly in the infield. Better defensively than probably Garcia, but Garcia had a knack for pinch hitting and just getting on base.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Diaz, ground ball to third, taking on a short hop. Chris Bryant. Low throw, 1 away. What a great deal on Cardinals tickets. Fill up at Phillips 66 with 8 gallons or more. Now until September 29th, you'll receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66.
No player really deserved to go down, or
no.
But you know who I would have sent out?
Leak, fly ball, center field, Fowler.
This might find a little surprising. I would have sent out Seth Maness.
Gone with a shorter bullpen.
To go with a shorter bullpen to get him the innings he needs to get his pitches down. You know, now Leak, you know, is in this game as a starter, he's going to be able to work and concentrate and getting the ball down. But Seth Maness, you know, we all know what a tremendous job he's done, the double play machine, but he's not getting the ground balls. Just give him some innings, maybe let him start a game or two down there, and then bring him back. You'd have to wait 10 days, and you know, could you go with a short bullpen? And I think you could, because Matt Bowman, what he's been doing.
I think at this point, all options were on the table with that. There was no clear-cut option as to which player you would send down.
And like you say, Greg Garcia will be back here, and so would Seth. You know, I mean, it was just to go down and get straightened out. But right now, Mike Matheny, I don't know if he is in a position where he could trust him to come in and get that ground ball double play.
Here's an 0-2. And Carpenter waves at it, strikes out, blocked by Montero, and that's 4 strikeouts for John Lackey. Buckle up, we've got a pitcher's duel here tonight. No score. with the St. Louis Hilton at the ballpark and the St. Louis Union Station Hotel. Choose one of our Cardinals baseball packages. Score for your team. Head to HiltonSt.Louis.com or call 314-421-1776. Huge crowd this Monday night here in St. Louis.
A lot of Cub fans in town. They're welcome.
Ben Zobrist over his last 22, grounded out to first. Mentioned this the other day that the Cardinals, first time in over 100 years, will not play host to the Cubs for a weekend series.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, and this is the 125th year these two have been doing battle. And I hate to say this, but in the all-time mark, the Cubs have the advantage. Cardinals last 5 years here at Busch Stadium have dominated. They're 34-15 here at Busch. And we have a few more of those flags.
0-2 the count. Zobrist, a very valuable player for the world champion Kansas City Royals. Picked him up. He was with Oakland and traded to Kansas City. Offseason, signed a 4-year deal with the Cubs. Really a push by Joe Madden to get him. And he also wanted David Price. Price winds up in Boston. Time is called.
Of course, you know, the Cardinals thought that David Price wanted to come here, and I think he will say, yes, I did. But I heard Dave Dombrowski, as you see, another strikeout. But Dave Dombrowski, I read where he said, I'll pay $35 to $40 million over anybody else. And I said, maybe we won't get him.
Recently, Fox Sports traveled to Cuba to report on the tradition and the current state of baseball on the island. Watch Cardinals live on Wednesday. See how baseball's past and future are woven together in Cuba. Later this month, watch the full documentary. Cuba, baseball's final frontier on Fox Sports Midwest. Anthony Rizzo, ground ball hit to second. Like to see these ground balls. Seemed like after Leake got out of that first inning jam, he settled in, and this is the Mike Leake that we saw in spring training.
Exactly, and I think, Dan, it's not that surprising. A lot of times pitchers going to have a little trouble with that first inning. You know, you want to get game ready in the bullpen, but you don't want to throw too much down there. Then you get accustomed to this mound. But sometimes you lead off double and you go, oh, it's going to submarine on you. But if you can get out of that inning unscathed, then you kind of say, okay, I'm in command now. I've got it working. And you see now, too, a lot of pitches have been on the corners. You know, not only getting the ball down where you're getting the ground balls, but the strikeouts because he's not leaving things up and over the middle of the plate.
1-0, ground ball, slowly hit. Colton Wong. Chris Bryant retired. Both pitchers have really settled in this game. Hazelbaker, Holiday, Moss coming up. was a huge baseball fan watching Cardinals baseball tonight. Also a huge fan of Jimmy the Cat Hayes. Jimmy, let's talk about Ruben Tejada. How will he be used now that he's been activated?
John Mozeliak's exact words were to be determined. Mo said you could see him at second base, obviously some at shortstop, but right now they're going with the hot bat, and that hot bat is Diaz. Mo also said that it was a tough decision to send Garcia back down. As you guys mentioned, he was 6 for 10 hitting 600, but Mo says he does have some marching orders. They want Garcia to go to Memphis and to get some work at shortstop. They say some time there could help him defensively, and he does need to work on that, Dan.
Inside on Hazelbaker. Thank you, Jim.
The old veteran right here saying, hey, kid, I'm sure you got off to a good start, but I'm going to try and put you in your place.
Saw his 8-game hitting streak snapped on Friday as he squibs one to the left side. Tough play, Bryant. Oh, what a play. Chris Bryant. And that's a guy that gets down the line as well as anybody in the league.
Yeah, I think what happened there is he got jammed, so he doesn't get out of the box real quick. Coming in on him, you see there, so you don't get out of the box real quick, and a very nice play by Bryant. Not always considered the best fielding third baseman. I mean, he's played some left field also, but you know what? When you're the unanimous rookie of the year and you have 99 RBIs, 26 home runs.
What do you think, Al, with Diaz? Cardinals need to figure out if he can play every day too.
Absolutely. That's why I was a little surprised that they brought Tejada back so quickly. You could leave him down there.
Holiday into right field. Hayward won't get that one. Drops in for a base hit. The first hit for the Cardinals.
That's also the first hit in 9 plate appearances for Holiday when facing Lackey.
April 29th, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive an adult zip-up hooded sweatshirt. Stay warm as you cheer on the Cardinals all season long. Visit cardinals.com/promotions for tickets.
Watch him disappear.
There he goes. Very nice weather here tonight at the ballpark. Here's Moss. Brandon Moss with 7 hits. 6 have gone for extra bases.
I thought Jim Hayes had a wonderful interview with Moss yesterday. I've been talked to him and said, you expounded so well about your teammates, how you feel, what you're going through, how you're got your legs underneath you and you're driving the ball now.
Clearly he has turned into a weapon. There is no doubt.
Yeah, and I mean, you could just tell that he's healthy now. He's using that backside, where last year some of those balls were dying on the warning track. Now they're starting to reach the seats where he's accustomed to hitting them.
Very short lead at first by Holiday. No balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Moss. Outfield is deep. Lackey thus far has walked 1. Given up 1 base hit moments ago to Holiday, and he struck out 4.
Today's Cardinal lineup, the only hitter that had a base hit off of Lackey was Moss. He's 4 for 8 coming in, but he struck out the first time.
And Moss is swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for John Lackey. Chevy Fox Tracks.
You can see that cutter coming in, down and in, but good movement on that pitch.
Now this is a typical John Lackey. In, out, nothing over the middle of the plate.
Exactly. It's called pitching. And we were talking before that I think sometimes pitchers today don't pitch to weaknesses, but a veteran like he knows how to do it.
So 2 outs, runner at first. Scotty saw the Chicago Cubs a bunch at the tail end of last season, and then in postseason play had 3 home runs against the Cubs in the division series. Also had a key double to avoid a sweep. But scored a run in the ball game late here at Busch Stadium. John Lackey, 14 big league seasons. 40 games above 500 for his career. He is now 2 1/3 innings shy of 2,500 for his career. And Lackey is 19 strikeouts away from 2,000. That ball scoots away, but Holiday not advancing. And John Lackey's really had a nice career. World champion with the Angels, the Boston Red Sox, and was very good with the Cardinals for about a year and a half. He was in St. Louis, and now a 2-year deal with the Cubs.
And just think about it. You know, it was the brain trust of the Cubs. They got him from the Angels, got him over to Boston because they knew he was a winner. And not surprising they want him in the Cubs, part of this.
6 strikeouts through 4 for John Lackey. Scotty, the pitching here, the story. Mike Leake has recorded 9 straight outs. John Lackey, 14 swings and misses here in this ball game, so the pitching has been very, very good.
Mike Leake, 21st player to go straight from the college to the big leagues, made his major league debut against the Cubs.
Out of Arizona State.
Pitched well in that ball game, but he had 7 walks.
Major league start number 175
for
Mike Leake tonight. Right over the Cubs dugout. Leake checking on the fans. And so are the Cubs inside the dugout. The shift is on here for Montero. Walked on 4 straight pitches back in the second, then erased on a double play. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 5 strikeouts. Well, fans, if you can't watch the games on television, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals wherever you go. 5 strikeouts for Mike Leake. 1 hit for the Cubs, 1 hit for St. Louis. Here's Soler.
I mean, the hardest hit ball in this game was off the bat of Soler, just a bullet to center field. It was caught. He's hit well in this ballpark. He can swing the bat.
This is one player I think that gets overlooked. He's always scared me, and maybe it's because of what he's done against the Cardinals.
Yeah, about 400 average against the Cardinals, but you know, he's only played about 255 major league games. You know, so he's come from Cuba, didn't play for a while.
Does that a lot.
Yeah.
He'll chase that pitch out of the zone.
Oh, they all do.
6 strikeouts for Leake.
That's part of the art of pitching. We're seeing 2 guys master here, but get ahead in the count, then do not throw a strike. Get hitters to expand their zone.
Russell, hard hit ball back to Leake. Turn that into a double play. 2 outs, nobody on. Fastball and a strike. This is the kind of pace that Mike Leake likes to work at too. He gets the ball and it's go time.
You know, the infielders love to play behind him when you got this type of pace. It was a little bit odd that we've had 4 infield errors committed behind him, because he's usually everybody's on their toes because he's so quick.
Oh, 0-2 the count. Leake trying to strike out the side. Inside. Cubs off to a good start. They have won 9 of their first 12. Their best start since their 1970 club.
Well, they lost yesterday, and prior to that was their best start since 1969. You know what happened then? Why are you laughing?
Oh, one of the curses came to town. I haven't seen you smile like that in a while.
I know, but you gotta love Joe Madden, though.
He doesn't believe in any of that.
61 years of age, and yet he has the ability to communicate with these much younger players, and they love him.
1-2. Madden was the manager, National League Manager of the Year. 3rd time he's won that award.
Would you say he's the hippie grandfather?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. You see him in street clothes, dresses, you know, acts the part. A lot of fun to be around.
A lot of things to keep his players loose.
2-2.
You know, Madden has something on top of his lineup card supposedly every day, and it says, "Don't ever permit the pressure to exceed the pleasure." And that's what it's all about. Have fun out here. You know, it's a game. It's a kid's game. Played at this level, it means so much to so many people, but you know, have fun.
3-2. That statement so true this year with the expectations in Chicago.
And I think that's part of the reason why he's accentuating him, because you go, look at guys, you're going to have a bullseye on you, but we learned how to win last year. Now we learn how to succeed with that pressure.
3-2 is a base hit out to left. So the 8th place hitter, Addison Russell, is 1 for 2. The second Cubs hit extends the inning to John Lackey.
You know, he missed on that 2-2 pitch. Now this one's up over the middle of the plate a little bit. And really not a bad pitch, but keep it as single. And it's much higher in the zone than I thought. And you got Lackey coming up. Obviously, Leake's the much better hitter between these 2 pitchers.
Mike Leake, one of the best in all of baseball. So 2 outs and a runner at first for John Lackey. Ground ball hit to short. Diaz will step on the bag. The Cardinals have Molina, Wong, Diaz coming up. We're scoreless here at Busch. To grab Cardinals seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you'll love whenever you want, find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. StubHub app today. Molina is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Yesterday it was Eric Fryer, 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a walk, a couple of RBIs. First Cardinal ever to start a season 6 for 6 in his first 6 at bats with the club. The last to do that in baseball, start 6 for 6 in a year, was Dontrelle Willis, the pitcher for the Marlins back in 2004.
I went to Eric yesterday. I said, hitting's easy. And kind of, yeah, sure. And I said, well, then why don't you go keep your batting average at 1,000? And he sure did. He was the star yesterday.
So here's Molina.
And how important is it to have a backup that can do that? You know, can contribute. Work well with the pitchers, but also contribute offensively. And everybody was kind of kidding a little bit, saying, hey, we finally got a catcher that can hit.
And somehow stay sharp, knowing that Yadier Molina is going to see the bulk of the playing time.
And actually, you know, Fire's been able to get a few at bats. He had 3, you know, already before the start yesterday because of some of the blowouts.
Molina with a high fly ball. There's Hayward. The bold and sweet flavor of strawberry mixed with tart taste of lemonade, blended to perfection all summer long at McDonald's. Coldwell jumped on that pitch and pulled it foul.
And sometimes what you don't want to see is, I remember even with Lou Brock, Lou would hit a home run and we'd say, oh no, Lou. Then you try to hit him for the next 3 weeks and you struggle.
We know Wong has got that pop. Slow start to this season. Came in hitting an even 200. He's 1 for 12 on the homestand.
I was talking with Derek May about that. You know, when a guy is struggling, all of a sudden they feel like they've got to hit 5 home runs and 3 at bats. You can't do it, but they feel like they got to make up ground, and it's usually the worst thing for you.
0-2, base hit into center field.
That is better.
Right back up the box and nearly caught John Lackey.
Hit the ball hard up the middle, stay on those pitches, and hopefully he can relax a little bit. Lackey, what, about 6'4", and is kind of a hanger, and it comes right back at you.
Cardinals have not had a man reach second base tonight. See if they want to try to get things going. Maybe start Wong. You think about a hit and run, whatever the case may be, but get something going. High chopper that is pulled fair over third base. Wong digging for third. Diaz to second base. A little bit of luck. The Cardinals will take it.
You're trying to get a little something going. Well, they got a little bit something and a little bit more. Rob Drake, our third base umpire, looked like he was calling that fair as it went right over the bag. Little breaking ball, hits down on it, but it gets that big hop. You can see him calling it fair. And he called it right over the bag, knowing that it may go foul, but it was a fair ball over the bag. And Colton can run there. They get 2 runners on him with 1 out. And Leak, as we said, one of the best hitting pitchers in the game, over 200 average. He's also led the pitchers in hitting, 3 different times in the National League.
The Ledmus Diaz, that's now 6 doubles. He was tied with Holiday for the team lead in doubles coming into play tonight. He now has 6, Holiday with 5, and here is Mike Leake, who lined out to center first time up. We saw it in Atlanta where the Cardinals put on a bunt with Carlos Martinez, showed it, then pulled back, picked up the base hit to right. One ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Lackey throwing him the slider, and he's swinging at the fastball. Calm down. Make sure the pitch is a strike.
Squeeze was on. He missed it. Wong and a rundown. And back to the bag. Safe.
Lackey is frustrated.
Wow. That's got to be an out for Chicago.
Absolutely, but Wong did the right thing. Stayed in that rundown long enough. They closed the gap, but they gave him an escape hole, and he got underneath. See him coming home, you're dead duck. It's a suicide squeeze. He fails to make contact, stay in the rundown, then he throws it, and you saw that Bryant was off. He's offline. Russell late in getting over there to cover, and so he throws it to the third baseman, but he's inside the baseline and giving the lane. You don't have to do that at third.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Now the infield is in. Hit down the left field line. Hooking foul.
You knew that, wouldn't it? That got a little roar from the crowd, but Montero's going to go out and talk to Lackey, but look for the slider down and away off the plate coming now.
On that rundown, too, many times that trail runner will then take to the bag at third. Diaz did not do that, and Wong was able to stay in the rundown.
I think, yeah, it's a good point, Danny, but I think it was so the point where he saw that it was a failed attempt so soon,
yeah,
that he was able to read it right.
2-2 the count. Infield drawn in for Mike Leake. Runners at second and third with one out. Busch Stadium is ready to erupt. Leake, a swing and a miss. So the Cardinals need a 2-out base hit for Matt Carpenter. What's on tap is presented by Budweiser. He was sensational last time out, Jaime Garcia. He'll get the call for the Cardinals against Jason Hamill. Coverage begins at 6:30. Budweiser, what's on tap? The Cardinals have 38 2-out RBIs. To put it in perspective, 45% of the runs they have tallied this year have come with 2 outs. It's an incredible amount.
Oh, we've seen it in the past. The Cardinals can get an awful lot of them. And how many times, you know, last year Carpenter had the home run and RBI total for the team was the best. How many times he'd get on in front of him and he brings him home.
So far this season, 6 for 9 with runners in scoring position. He's picked up 9 RBIs in his last 8 games. He has walked, he has struck out tonight.
Got 11 RBIs total. It's the most by any National League leadoff man.
And the 1-0 pitch to Carpenter. Lackey gets out of this, you'll see his emotion. I bet he'll go screaming in that dugout.
You watch right now, and you hope Carpenter doesn't expand his zone. But Lackey knows how dangerous Matt Carpenter and how good a hitter he is, especially in this situation. You got Hazelbaker on deck. He's had his way with him. They may be pitching around him, even though it load the bases.
2-0. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Now he's calling out Montero because he wants to go over this situation. A lot of respect for Matt Carpenter, which he deserves.
First meeting of 19 between Chicago and St. Louis. 2 balls, 1 strike on Carpenter with runners at second and third. Inning started. The fly ball, harmless fly ball by Molina to right. Wong the base hit into center. Double by Diaz. Strikeout of Leake and the 2-1. Now 2-2 on Carpenter. I'm with you. I'm a little surprised that they've gone after Carpenter in this spot with the rookie on deck. But that's the veteran John Lackey.
You know, sometimes as a pitcher you fall into a trap now that you got 2 strikes against a guy, then all of a sudden you kind of is going to say he's got to hit my pitch. Now all of a sudden you get 2 strikes, you say, okay, I'm going to strike him out, and you make a careless pitch and he beats you.
And again, Montero wants to talk to Lackey, get on the same page.
Well, I mean, I think he knows this could be the ball game right here. And he has that base open. Carpenter with that great batting eye. You just want him to have the confidence that if the ball is out of the strike zone, something he can't do anything with it, take the walk and turn it over to Hazelbaker. If it's something you can do, but with 2 outs, you know, that fly ball isn't good enough.
The 2-2 to Matt Carpenter.
Good pitch down the way.
2 strikeouts in the inning. The Cardinals had runners at second and third, only 1 out. And Lackey strikes out Leake, and then he gets Carpenter on the 2-2. Scoreless here at Busch Stadium as we head to the 6th. Cardinals miss a golden opportunity to strike first in this series. The top of the lineup, Dexter Fowler. Hey, the Cardinals have a great ticket promotion. 10 a.m. tomorrow. $6 seats will go on sale. Available while supplies last for 3 of the 4 games against the Phillies and all 3 against the Rockies, courtesy of Papa John's. But that's $6 seats tomorrow at 10 a.m. 10,000 tickets are available for the 6 combined games. And that's for the Phillies in early May, Rockies in mid-May. Cardinals.com at 10 a.m.
How lucky were the Cubs to re-sign Dexter Fowler really late.
Turned down more money apparently. And Fowler hits it a ton into right center. And with that, it's 1-0 Chicago. Fowler, his 3rd home run. One of the hottest hitters right now in all of baseball. 1-0 Chicago.
Well, he turned down a 3-year, $35 million offer from Baltimore And what the problem was is he wanted an opt-out clause. They wouldn't give it to him, so he signed a 1-year, $13 million contract to come back to the Cubs. Schwarber gets hurt, and all of a sudden they have their center fielder. Remember, Hayward was going to play center field. You worry about this, and you see he misses location. Yachty wanted it further away, but after Leak failed to get the suicide squeeze bunt down, they don't score. You go back out there, and you give up a home run ball.
Here's Hayward. Ball 1. Hayward is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Cardinals using the shift. 2 balls, no strikes.
Carpenter, he's the only fielder on the left side of the infield, going further away from the line. They really busted him in like you predicted.
On 3-0, he pulls it foul and broke his bat.
You know, Dan, when you want to bust a guy in like this, you always got to watch as a pitcher. You got to watch his feet. See if the batter doesn't, step further away from the plate. And if he does, then you just keep on following him inside.
In watching Hayward as much as we did a year ago, he stands very far off the plate. Could be a byproduct of being hit by Jonathan Neese a few seasons ago, and that's why he has that protective gear, the front of the face. 3-2. Hit sharply to Baltimore.
How's your hand?
Right fielder's defensive run saved. Stephen Piscotty, as Al mentioned, off to a very good start defensively. We've seen a plus arm from Stephen Piscotty, have we not?
Look at Borges on there, Hayward, Scotty. A couple former Cardinals, and he's leading the pack.
There's a ground ball. Backing up a step or two, Colton Wong. Zobrist retired. Over his last 24. In steps Rizzo, who was hit by a pitch back in the first and also grounded out to second. Anthony Rizzo with the 3rd most home runs since the start of the 2013 season. Just 2 back of the leader, Paul Goldschmidt, and then it's Stanton with 90 and Rizzo with 89 in that time frame. 2 outs, nobody on. Ground ball, that is fair. No, foul ball.
Like a hit on the chalk before the base, and Jerry Davis, the crew chief, felt like when it went over the bag it was foul.
So you're telling me my eyes deceive me?
I know mine are getting real bad, so don't trust me. Of course, Jerry's wearing glasses too.
Right. Here's the 0-1. And a fly ball lifted into center. Hazelmaker is there. Mike Leake has given up just 3 hits tonight, but one of them costly. Fowler, the leadoff hitter, near the top of the 6th with his 3rd home run, RBI number 10. Exit velocity on the Fowler home run, 108 miles an hour. The Hayward liner at 110. Arcia in the driver's seat as we get a look at John Mabry. Highest contact percentage, Cardinals are in the top 4. Hazelbaker makes contact as he flies to center. Fowler back and makes the catch. That ball carried.
Ball almost took off on him. I heard you say, talking about it yesterday or over the weekend, about the toughest play for the center fielder, that line drive right at him. If you play it off the side, you can see he had the height, but when it comes right at you, sometimes you're fooled. But he goes back on this ball. He's a really good player.
I always liked him even when he was with Colorado and
then
Houston.
when he went to Houston.
Thought he's a very good ball player. And I think you're exactly right, Al. I mean, he kind of falls into the Cubs' laps because of the snafu with the contract, and it's worked out quite well for Chicago to get him back.
Because remember, Hayward was going to be the center fielder. Soler was going to be out there in right, Schwarber in left, or combination, whatever. But
hit out of play by Holiday.
You not only get a Gold Glover back in right field, but you get a very, very solid player both on both ends, defensively and offensively, and Fowler.
Cubs trying to make it 13 straight starts in which their starters go at least 6 innings. Here's an 0-2. Strikeout of Holiday, and that is number 9 tonight for John Lackey. Well, tomorrow it's a big day of sports for both Chicago and St. Louis. Blues continue their Stanley Cup playoff series against the Hawks. Game 4 in Chicago. Cardinals host the Cubs here at Busch. Fox Sports Midwest will bring you both games on Fox Sports Midwest and Fox Sports Midwest Plus. Just check local listings or just head to foxsportsmidwest.com to find out where it's being shown in your area.
Let's play 2.
Let's play 2.
Let's win a doubleheader tomorrow. How about Lackey, boy? I mean, he's dealing.
Well, you know he was fired up for tonight.
Well, you know, I mean, he's a great competitor and has a, you know, an edge to him, but I think it was a very positive edge. I thought he was a good role model for the young Cardinal pitchers. He was the Cardinals' best starter a year ago.
I found him to be a good guy.
Absolutely.
Just don't mess with him when he was pitching.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the first guy. Carpenter was like that.
Yep.
You know, you think Bob Gibson was talkative on the day he pitched?
It's funny, you know, some guys are different. Others you can talk to and they like it. You know, Jeff Supine was like that. He didn't mind it one bit. Power Stats brought to you by Kubota. And it's home runs. Brandon Moss with 4 this year to lead the club. Not many at bats to get those 4 home runs. Harper, Saltalamacchia, Trevor Story, the shortstop of the Rockies. Moss, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 swing could tie it up. The 2-2. And a strikeout of Moss on a late call. That is 10 through 6 innings for John Lackey. He's come back to St. Louis, and thus far he's been dominant. Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Not many hits for the Cardinals or the Cubs tonight, just 3 aside. That was a double by Aledmys Diaz. Cardinals had runners at second and third earlier. Only 1 out, did not score. Here's Chris Bryant. Strike 1. Bryant is 0 for 2. Fly to right with 2 runners on, also grounded out to second.
Rookie of the year last year, and how about the rookie contribution for the Cubs a year ago? They had 1,704 bats, 66 home runs, and 251 RBIs.
Well, look at it this way, as you talked about earlier. Chris Bryant, the anniversary of his call-up was yesterday, and Addison Russell this time last year was still in the minor leagues.
Yeah, it came about a week later. They also had over 1,516 strikeouts.
On an 0-2 pitch, he reaches for it. It's a base hit out to left.
I think I saw that swing from Dave Kingman a few times. Tall, lanky, reaches out. Bryant was fooled with a slider. And now, does he try to repeat it? Almost the same pitch. This time he goes out and hooks it. Went out there. He had 199 strikeouts a year ago. But he did a lot of damage when he hit the ball in play.
Miguel Montero. Leake looking for his second double play. Normally in the 7th with a starter, or at least many times, see a leadoff base hit. All of a sudden the bullpen gets up. They start to throw. Only 72 pitches though for Mike Leake tonight. That's it.
Economical.
The 1-0. Into center field. Hazelbaker can't get there. Drops in front of him for a base hit.
I think we saw the other one where we talked about the ball right at you. You know, it's the toughest one. This one, it looked like Hazelbaker didn't get a good read on it and didn't realize it was going to be short and come in aggressively and hard. I don't know if he could have made a shoestring catch or not, but back-to-back hits. Down and in to a lefty. Sinking on Hazelbaker, and does a nice job to keep it from getting by him, but he didn't have that good burst coming in.
Here's Soler.
Talk about the strikeouts, Danny. Soler had 121 strikeouts in 101 games. But when he puts the ball in play, the ball jumps off his bat and he can do some damage too.
We saw it with a few years ago, Soler and Javier Baez. Ton of strikeouts. Chris Bryant, as you mentioned, 199. Rizzo will get his fair share. But they'll also get production. Diaz. High throw, threw it away. From a tailor-made double play to an error to a run that scores. 2-0 Chicago.
Well, you can't assume a double play, but if there's a double play ball, that was it. And then what you really want the young player not to do is complicate it by throwing the ball away. Right there, he's trying to see. You can see you kind of look at his second base, trying to get the double play. Then he slings the ball, gets underneath it, and complicates it by another error. They only get one on the play, but you know it should have been 2 outs instead of run producing. Comes up on him.
4th error on Diaz, and that is a costly one. Remember the error in Pittsburgh that should have been a double play to get out of the 5th for Michael Wacha. And then Wacha took the loss that night.
You know, and it's happened a lot of these infield errors. That's where the majority, high percentage of the Cardinal errors this year. And I think they still lead the major leagues as Tyler Lyons starts getting ready. They have been in the infield, the errors, and the most of them, I think that's 5 of those errors have been infield errors when Leake's on the mound.
Ground ball pitcher, you know you've got to have good defense behind him. Addison Russell, infield is drawn in, showing bunt. No activity in the Cubs bullpen. Lackey is on deck. Caesar is the pinch runner. Matt Caesar. They have a 4-man bench, extra man in their bullpen. The 1-0. Fly ball. Right center. Catch is made. This will make it 3-0. Both runners will tag up. Trevor Rosenthal's bobblehead is coming up Saturday, April 30th. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home the closer's bobblehead featuring a sound trip. That's courtesy of the Hartford. Visit Cardinals.com/promotions. So here is Lackey. Infield stays in and a runner at third base. Oh for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a groundout. Addison Russell, his 8th RBI of the year. 2 strikes. The way that John Lackey is throwing the baseball, I'm sure this was a fairly easy decision for Joe Maddon to make sure he hits for himself, keep him in. Decision looks a little better. On an 0-2 pitch, a hanging breaking ball, and with that, Chicago has a 4-run lead.
Absolutely right, Danny. The way he's pitching, but I think it's also you got to consider, even though the Cubs bullpen has been pretty good, that's their Achilles heel. And if Lackey's going out there pitching, doing the job, I'm going to keep him out there as long as I can. And then he makes you look like a genius when he gets the base hit. But you're absolutely right. Hanging breaking ball. They want that not to even be a strike, and kind of backs up on him and give Lackey some credit. It's his night tonight. But it's not over.
There's Dexter Fowler, who homered back in the 6th. Pitch taken a little bit low.
He led off with a double, then he struck out, then the home run.
A frustrating inning, no doubt, here for Mike Leake. The 1-0. From his perspective, you know, a pitcher always kicking themselves after a base hit. The 0-2 pitch to Bryant. Reach for it. Leadoff hit.
You know, that's why at times you want to get him back in the dugout as quick as possible so he can reset.
Then you had the ball that fell in front of Hazelbaker, who was playing fairly deep in center field.
Yep. I mean, that ball, you know, it's hard to ever second guess Yachty, but a couple good sinkers down and away, and then throw a breaking ball, which is not your best pitch, and it costs you.
And he had the ground ball, the air by Diaz that led to a run. Russell, the sac fly RBI, then an 0-2 pitch against the pitcher Lackey. So he singled out to left center. 3-1 the count. 3-2.
That's the beauty of baseball. You know, all kinds of things can go awry, and you got to just go out there and control, do the best you can to control things, and whatever goes around you, you just have to reel it back in and take control.
You wonder if he would lose Fowler here. At that point, then, do you bring in Tyler Lyons? You've got Hayward from the left side, switch hitting Zobrist, and Rizzo after that from the left side.
If you got him up, bring him in.
Pitch number 87 from Leake. Lifted in the air to center. Hazelbaker is back. with room and makes the catch.
I met Hazel Baker's parents today in Aggie's lobby. They're in from Indiana. Are they proud of their son?
Oh for 3 tonight, Jason Hayward. Last time up, off his bat, 110 miles per hour. The liner to Colton Wong. 2 outs, runner at first.
Now 1 for 17 off of Mike Leake.
Right field, Piscotty. 2 hard hit balls, but nothing to show for it for Jason Hayward. However, the Cubs add to their lead, and it's time to stretch here in Game 1. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. John Lackey dealing here tonight. He has struck out 10. He's allowed just 3 base hits. Cardinals have had 2 at-bats with a runner in scoring position. He's got 8 career shutouts, the last coming in 2009 as a member of the Red Sox, and that was against the Seattle Mariners.
A little early for that, but you know what? He's got great stuff tonight. You know, you always, as a pitcher, you always have to kind of sit on that bench. You're watching the game, and you always got to, in your mind, say, how am I going to pitch to my teammates if I ever was opposed to them? I think he learned pretty well.
A strike to Stephen Piscotty.
I don't remember seeing so many breaking balls and so many changeups that he's thrown tonight.
Oh, 0-2 the count. Piscotty is grounded out to third and also struck out. What I do remember is nothing over the middle of the plate, as simple as that sounds, but that was John Lackey to a T. Everything on the corners. Strikes out Piscotty, and that is 11 for Lackey.
You know,
Plaza Tires Fox Track says Piscotty chased this pitch out of the zone.
You know, Dan, we've been worried about Grichuk and we've been worried about Wong, but is it time to worry a little bit about Piscotty, as he's been chasing a lot of balls and coming up empty?
Here's Molina with 1 out, nobody on. He struck out and flied out to right. Trevor Story is homered again. Rockies beat the Reds 5-1. Here's the 0-1. Base hit into right field. Just the 4th Cardinal hit tonight. Molina 1 for 3, leads the club in hits with 15.
3 singles and a double. So here you go. He gets on base. Now you have Wong coming up. He's got 1 for 2. He got a base hit his last time up. Let's see if you can't get something going here and get back in this ball game.
There's Cold Wong, single to center. Ball out in front. Molina to second. Most strikeouts Lackey had with the Cardinals, 10. He struck out 12 twice in his career, most recently in 2013. Looking to match that tonight. 1 away.
Travis Wood is up in the Cubs bullpen. Lions back up for the Cardinals.
And Clayton Richard and Travis Wood from the left side of their pen. They carry 6 right-handers, a total of 8 in their pen. Two and 1. Matt Caesar stays in the game. Came into pinch run for Soler. He's in left field. Wong with a fly ball into shallow right. Here comes Hayward, and a sliding catch as he takes a hit away. His second sliding grab of the night.
That one much more difficult. And good base running from Miotti, not just put his head down and assume it's going to fall in, but 3-time Gold Glover out there, really got a good jump on it. Came in very aggressive. It hangs up long enough, but you can see how hard he's running. He comes up with a nifty play.
Well, we've seen it time and again. He is some kind of defender.
We liked it last year. Not so much this year.
Here's a lead miss Diaz. Pitch count for John Lackey. Next one will be number 90. Diaz a double. High bouncer over the head of Chris Bryant back in the 5th. The 1-0 pitch.
See how well he's kept that ball. Throwing just enough on the inside part of the plate to keep these hitters honest, and then he just buries them 2 strikes away. .90 pitches. Does he tire a bit and get a few pitches over the middle of the plate?
Diaz pops it up. Addison Russell makes the catch. Cardinals strand a runner. They have stranded 5 tonight. We head to the 8th. Chicago on top. Thank you. 4-0 our score here in the 8th inning. Jed Jerko takes over at second base. And the new pitcher is Tyler Lyons in our Chevy call to the pen. We haven't seen Lyons since game 1 of the Milwaukee series.
And he's done a nice job.
And greeted with a base hit. Zobrist thinking 2. Leadoff double. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Tyler Lyons. Very good curveball, slider, changeup.
But it's that breaking ball you're talking about. It's kind of a slurvy a little bit. That's why you kind of, does he call it a slider or we call it a curveball? It's the same pitch, but it's very good against the lefties and the right-handers. People just don't get good swings at it.
Now Rizzo, as he hovers over the plate. That's why he's hit by so many pitches. He will hang in there, especially against lefties. And remember, a couple of years ago, had poor numbers against the lefties. He said it was a point of emphasis for him to get better, and he did. Last 2 years, outstanding. Center field. Hazelbaker, position to throw, makes the catch. Zobrist tagging up from second to third. So 1 out, runner at third. And an RBI opportunity for Chris Bryant.
Deep enough to where he can tag up and go there. Throw a little bit offline, but he was going to be safe either way. Now it's up to Lyons with the infield in to save that run.
Mike Leake, 7 innings tonight, 4 runs, 6 hits, struck out 6, 1 walk, and the home run allowed to Fowler. So the infield in, shift is on here for Bryant. Base hit into right. 5-0 Chicago.
Sixth RBI, and there you see the breaking ball, kind of a loopy hanger right in the middle of the plate, and you'll pay for that at this level.
Here's Montero. Walked on 4 straight pitches back in the second, struck out on a curveball in the 5th, and single to center, scored. Hits it out of play. Right-hander starting to play catch in the bullpen, throwing very lightly. And an 0-1 pitch to Montero instead of check on the runner. Bryant at first. Pedro Strop is throwing in the pen. A 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
Montero discussing that with our home plate umpire Carlos Torres. First time I ever remember calling that name.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I don't remember him.
Well, he probably was in Arizona too.
Ground ball. Lyons to second, and it's a double play. The tag by Moss. Cardinals turned their second double play. Montero is saying that he was safe. He may have missed him.
We're going to be back here. They're going to check it, and I think it won't take long. Looks like he misses him.
And again, another throw by Diaz that sails.
Yeah. Dan, it's my understanding, I really haven't talked to anybody about this specifically, but remember when Diaz sat out for 17, 18 months, that when he had those tryouts, I think one of the things that the Cardinals saw was an explosive arm, but he hurt the arm during that time. In the first couple of years, he was really trying to battle to get that back, and he maybe picked up some bad habits in the side-on throws. Instead of getting on top and having that good direct, you know, you throw it inside, you get a lot of sailing.
I saw him in spring training make 2 plays deep in the hole where he was over the top, and it really caught your eye. You know, strong throws, strong arm, made the plays deep in the hole. It's been on what seems to be routine plays. And you're right, he drops it down 3/4, little sidearm, and the ball sails on him.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just one of those things where, you know, they're constantly talking to him about it, and we know the Cardinal coaches are all going to do a great job, but it just kind of reminds you, and it's just sort of a say hello to Jose Oquendo. And I'm sure Jose would be talking to somebody about that, or trying to figure out some way to get him back on top on a more consistent basis. But we're just kind of we're seeing this thing about him right now, and we like his bat, but some careless errors. And like you say, if it's that tough play, you know, it seems like he makes it a lot easier. He doesn't have to think about it.
Would have been a double play back in the 7th. This game would look a lot different. It was hard hit off the bat of Soler, and he bobbled it, tried to regain it, and then threw it into the dugout.
It did come up on him. As you see, the crowd here is looking at the replay on the board, but it doesn't look like they've seen the replay we saw. And unless it's convincing, you know, you can't overturn it. Kind of taking too long.
One replay that we had looked like he missed him by maybe an inch, 2 inches.
I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious that he missed him. They're going to make a decision. Good.
So the
our bad
Cardinals,
eyes work again.
well, then my eyes are bad too. They turn the double play, their 2nd of the night. We head to the bottom of the 8th. All Cubs here in game 1. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. 5-0, bottom of the 8th rolls in here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. New pitcher, their Chevy call to the pen is Travis Wood. One of 2 lefties that they have for Joe Madden in their bullpen. Takes over for John Lackey, who was sensational in his return to Busch Stadium tonight. Lackey 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits, struck out 11, walked 1, no home runs allowed. May 1st, great day for the kids. Randall Grichuk Bat Day, courtesy of Rawlings. Also, free ticket voucher to a Cardinals home game, courtesy of Ritz. And stop by the Ford Plaza prior to the game for ice cream. Prairie Farms Ice Cream Sunday for the kids.
Travis Wood already appearing in his 7th ball game. Remember, he's the 5th season with the Cubs. He's the longest tenured Cub. He made his debut in May of 2012, a little more than a month ahead of Rizzo. He was in the rotation for a while, and they moved him into the bullpen in mid-May, and he's found a pretty good home there.
Here's Jed Jerko. Homered yesterday. Now with 2 on the season.
That's a pretty good rip right there, and Jerko does have better numbers against left-handed pitchers.
To say that this deal worked out very well for the Chicago Cubs. Travis Wood was picked up for Sean Marshall. Marshall went to Cincinnati. And remember, at that time, he was considered one of the top lefties in the game, could close games out, but then ran into all kinds of arm issues, and that was it.
Yeah, and Travis Wood was a young left-handed starter, so swap a reliever for a starter.
Here's a 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Couple plays made behind Mike Leake. This is a much tighter game.
Oh, definitely about it.
Outfield is deep. Play him to pull on the infield.
Head in the count. They're trying to stay away from a fastball as they throw one by him.
The strikeout for Travis Wood. Cardinals have struck out 12 times tonight. Really a key point in this game. It was scoreless back in the 5th. Cardinals had runners at 2nd and 3rd. Only 1 out. Mike Leake at the plate. They botched a squeeze play, got away with it. No one was out. And then Leake eventually struck out. Carpenter struck out on a 2-2 pitch. No damage done. You score there, it's also a different looking game. Undoubtedly.
Right.
Here's a 1-0 to Carpenter. He has walked and struck out twice, 0 for 2. Jaime Garcia tomorrow against Jason Hamill. How about Jaime's last start?
Outstanding.
Sensational.
Best start of his career in my mind. Career high 13 strikeouts, 1 hitter.
What did you see in that start that made him so good? It was the day game last Thursday against Milwaukee.
It's just so simple when we talk about the fact that when he is healthy, he keeps the ball down in the strike zone. The ball moves so much, he doesn't know where it's going to go. They're always talking about how difficult it is for him to catch.
Ground ball, fair past Rizzo. Carpenter thinking 2. Sliding in safely with his 4th double of 2016.
Mr. Doubles out there. A couple years ago, he had 55 doubles. Set a new record, break Musial's record by a left-handed hitter. Last year, he led the league with 44. In between that 55, he had 33, and then last year he just split the difference with 44.
Just the 4th at bat with a runner in scoring position for the Cardinals tonight. There's Hazelbaker.
On Monday, the home opener for the Cardinals, Jim Edmonds told me that he saw Hazelbaker early in spring training just kind of feeling for the ball with his bat. And he said, swing the bat like a man. And all of a sudden, you know, I mean, he's new to the organization, kind of feeling his way. He's getting a little playing time, and all of a sudden he led the club in home runs and RBIs, and all of a sudden we started seeing the ball jump off his bat. You know, he was playing too much of his running game, small ball.
Some of the outs he has made, those have been loud outs, hard hit balls. Had one of those yesterday as a pinch hitter. Last time up here tonight, lined out to the track in center field. 0 for 3.
Now Lackey just busted him inside.
A 1-1.
Here they got a lefty in there working him away.
Outfield is deep. They are straight away. The 2-1 pitch to Hazelbaker. 2-2.
Play 751 minor league games. You pick up a lot of info. You know how to play the game. It's just begging for that chance, that opportunity. Cardinals gave it to him, and all he's done is hit. And so hit it AA, AAA, Venezuelan League, spring training. It's a great story.
Selma, Indiana. Small town. Cardinal fans there. That's Cardinals country.
Let's go to the pantry.
I saw that. The 2-2. Little diner in the in town. And he's become a hometown hero there.
Apparently everybody goes to the diner to talk about Jeremy and get the news on what's been going on. It'll be one of our road trips.
He might be flying solo.
I heard it's a great hunting season up there.
Oh, well, then we're in. I don't trust you with a gun, though. 2-2 the count. That is the great thing, though, about baseball. Every year, new player rises up that you do not expect, and in this case, it's Hazelbaker. For the Rockies, it's Story, their shortstop, that's just been incredible with the long ball.
Now they said he was going to be a talented young player, but you know, because of Reyes' legal problems and being suspended, it created an opening for Story to jump through.
Tulowitzki traded away.
Yeah.
The 2-2.
Oh, you could see he saw the hanger and his eyes lit up, but
oh, yeah,
he was able to pull it back.
Right-hander getting loose in the pen. That's Strope. Up for the second time for Chicago. 3-2 pitch. When you think about it now, Al, and you've seen it a million times, I'm sure, but a young guy comes up, makes an impression. And now the pressure's off a little bit in terms of, okay, they're seeing my skill set. Now just relax, play the game.
And that's still so hard to do for young players. Just natural.
On the inside corner, and a strikeout of Hazelbaker. Cardinals have struck out 13 times tonight. 11 from Lackey, the second from Wood. 3 things to know about Major League Baseball. Jay Happ, a win today in Boston. Remember, he signed a big deal with Toronto. Minnesota, after an 0-9 start, they've won 3 straight. And so have the Atlanta Braves. So that's it. For the lefty, Travis Wood, Pedro Strop, coming on in our Chevy Call to the Pen when we come back. The Cubs lead the head-to-head series between the two teams, but the World Series titles stand out. The Cardinals with 11, the Cubs with 2. And now it is Pedro Strop, who appeared in 76 games a year ago, had an ERA under 3, and when right, he's got a devastating slider.
Dan, that's the 3rd straight year that he's had a sub-3 ERA.
There's Holiday. You know, it was just as recent as 2012, the Cubs lost 101 games. And Theo Epstein was trying to build up the farm system. They had high draft choices, but they made a couple of very smart trades. This is one of them. As Holiday hits it down the right field line and out of play. Think about this.
Yeah, I was looking at, I'm right there with you. This is a big one.
This is huge. They get Jake Arrieta, and they get Strop, and they get 2 international signing bonus slots, which is very big in today's game. For Scott Feldman, you may remember him, a right-handed pitcher, and also catcher Steve Clevenger. And it has worked out wonderfully well for the Chicago Cubs. Jammed him. Ground ball hit to third. Bryant makes the play. Strop gets Holiday, and the Cardinals strand a runner. Their 6th of the night. We head to the 9th. Cubs on top, 5-0. is presented by Authority of the Cardinals. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Along with Al Raboski and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Second inning of work for Tyler Lyons. First plate appearance for Matt Caesar. Took over in left field. Remember, he entered the game as a pinch runner. That was back in the 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs on their bench have Tommy La Stella. Picked him up from Atlanta. David Ross, their backup catcher. Javier Baez and Matt Caesar. Ground ball to short. Diaz. Low throw and picked by Moss. You see right now he's fighting it a little bit.
Yeah, but there's another one that doesn't get on top of the throw. Kind of short arms it and everything. Doesn't, you know, he had the time, take his time and come right over the top.
Addison Russell. Strike 1. Crowd tonight 45,432. 45432. Russell with a sac fly RBI back in the 7th inning. 0-2 the count.
Seventh inning kind of fell apart for Mike Leake. Talking about the error, but there were a couple leadoff base hits that got him in trouble.
After this series, these two teams do not face each other until May. Cubs will be back here on the 23rd of May. First visit to Wrigley will be towards the tail end of June. Nice play there by the fan. That guy is fired up down the left field line.
Wrong uniform, Dan. Their
Pretty
fans
good
are
hands.
even making plays. Where's Bartman when we need him?
The 1-2. Lifted in the air to center field. Hazelbaker. 2 down. Lions came in relief of Leake. Gave up a double to Zobrist. Then it was a RBI single to right by Chris Bryant. At that time it made it 5-0. We'll see the pinch hitter here, Javier Baez.
He was just activated a couple days ago. Got a thumb injury.
Trevor Cahill, right-hander, throwing in the pen.
Oh, he might be a real plus for their bullpen, which in my mind is their biggest Achilles heel.
One ball, 1 strike. Again, very good starting pitching here from John Lackey, and the starters just keep rolling along. Broken bat on a hop to second, base hit.
Broken bat fooled Jerko, and his first step was back, and then he had to race in. He was at the mercy of the bounce, and it bounced away from him. Right there in the grass. Thought it was a bounce a little higher. Would if it was on the dirt. And Baez has a hit.
Last time a team had their starters begin a year by going at least 6 innings in what is now 13 games. You have to go back to the Atlanta Braves of 1999. Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz, Kevin Millwood was an 18-game winner that season. Odalis Perez was part of their rotation. High fly ball into right center. Hazelbaker with room. Fowler again gave it a ride. He homered earlier from the other side of the plate. Head to the bottom of the 9th. It's 5-0. John Lackey, 91 pitches. Very effective, 11 strikeouts. 1 strikeout shy of matching his career high, which he said twice, and he's our Budweiser player of the game. This is Trevor Cahill, signed as a minor league free agent a year ago. Our Chevy called to the pen 4 different times. He was in double figures in wins as a starter. His best year was with the Oakland A's when he was 18-8 back in 2010, and now working out of the bullpen for the Cubs.
Yeah, healthy now, and they say he's throwing the ball well again. And maybe pitching in relief will be the right thing for him. He was 0-3 with Atlanta and asked for his release.
1-2 on Moss. He's had a tough night, struck out 3 times.
That was last year, and then bounced all through the minor leagues, finally settled with the Cubs.
Moss has struck out for the 4th time. The Cardinals as a team tonight, 14 strikeouts. Well, the Cubs have come in and cooled off one of the hottest teams in baseball here tonight. The Cardinals had 85 runs through their first 12 games. That was most in baseball. 47 the last 6.
But Dan, the alarming thing, and it's very early, but it's a trend you want to stop tomorrow if you can't finish this game in a victory, is that if you don't win this game, you're 0-4 against the Pirates and the Cubs. You've had your success against rebuilding clubs.
0-2 pitch. Piscotty 0-for-3 with a pair of strikeouts tonight.
And we knew how many strikeouts, that 37 in the first 3 games against the Pirates. Now you have a better pitching staff. The Cubs come in here and they've dominated.
Piscotty has been seeing that breaking ball middle outer half, and last few games really chasing that pitch.
Well, that's why I talked about, you know, you got some projects right now, and Piscotty's right there. It's 4 for 24 on the homestand.
Jammed a bit. Bryant. 2 down. And with 2 outs, final hope for the Cardinals, Yadier Molina.
Montero saying give it inside. Right there, jams, he breaks his bat, little ground ball, and 1 more to go.
Molina with 1 base hit tonight. The Cardinals a total of 5. They've been out hit 9-5. They trail 5-0. First pitch, a ball. Jaime Garcia tomorrow night for the Cardinals. Day game coming up on Wednesday. It'll be off day Thursday. Then we head out west. Head to San Diego and Arizona.
Cub fans are, and the Cardinal fans here, they're
Two and 1 the count with 2 outs, nobody on. Matt Adams at the on deck circle. If we get there. Lackey 7 innings. Travis Wood 2/3 of an inning. Strop 1/3 of an inning. And now Cahill. 3-1 pitch. 3-2.
trying to put some kind of finish on right here.
Three-two pitch, and now time is called.
In the last 5 seasons at Busch, the Cardinals are 34-15 against the Cubbies, including postseason.
And the ball game is extended with a walk.
Never know what it might lead to. That was one of the things too about the Cubs. Came into this game receiving the most walks and their pitching staff giving up the fewest.
Story of this season early on for the Cardinals, their pinch hitters. They're 10 for 20, 6 home runs, 9 RBIs. That's been the role primarily here for Matt Adams. Play behind Molina, and Adams hits a fly ball out to center. Fowler is back, and with just enough room makes the catch. The Cubs take game 1, the final of 5-0.
Pretty decisive win for the Cubbies and their fans, as the Cardinals had scored the most runs coming in, but not tonight. They get shut out.
Big night for the Cubs. They get to leak thanks to Dexter Fowler. His home run started the scoring. They added 4 more. They win it 5-0. Post game next.